Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Okay, let's try to step up our emotional energy real quick. I want you guys to put on your mental track shoes, and I want to cover three things with you guys today. I want you guys to write on your notes or a blank piece of paper 3 steps to power, or 3 pillars to power. Let's name it that. 3 pillars to power. Now, like I said, I want you guys to put in your mental track shoes with me today because we're going to cover some topics and I want you guys to keep up. These are fundamentals. We've covered these things in different variations. Today we'll be doing it in a more succinct way. So today's lecture is called The 3 Pillars to Power. And before we get into it, I want each of us to make a personal commitment. If you hear something that moves the soul or moves your the mind in a certain way, that you'll commit to it and you'll adopt it. The first pillar to personal power, what do you guys have any guesses that I put here?
Faith.
Huh?
Faith.
Faith? What do I usually talk about? Goal list. Philosophy. Philosophy, activity, and results. And we're going to try to cover these as fast as possible. Hope you guys can keep your, any questions, you guys raise your hand. I'll get you guys afterwards, after class. Now, it's my personal opinion that the first step to any life change scenario starts at your philosophy. Another word for philosophy are views, ideas, my thinking. What do I mean by that? Your perception. There you go. Perception of life. I love that.
What you want.
Huh?
What you want.
Perception. What you want. What you want. We can put what you want there. But it's more, no, let's put, that's more, that ties into your philosophy. Yeah, you know, we can put that there, what you want. Anybody have another viewpoint of what philosophy is? Philosophy is how you take everything in this world that comes at you and how you formulate it in ideas. What do you take from it? What do you take from the problems in life, right? Like, how do you take all of the stuff that comes at us, right? And how do we process it and how do we interpret it? How do we view it, right? Do things happen to you or do things happen against you, right? Now, if your philosophy is powerful, right? If you have a powerful philosophy, then anything that happens to you, you can use it to get where you want to go. But if your philosophy is weak in any area of life, then it'll affect your activity, thus affecting your results. So I want you guys to make this note. Philosophy is attached to results. My philosophy is attached to my results. Whatever results that I want in life, choosing the correct philosophy is most important. Let's say I want to be a world-class sprinter, right? Can somebody just begin to tell me what a philosophy of a world-class sprinter will be? Sprinter. Running every day, right? Eating correctly, right? All of those things, right? That's picking the correct philosophy to get me where? To my results, right? Now, the problem with life is that we want results, right? We want great relationships, right? We want great business, right? We want all of this stuff in the results aspect of life. However, we have not chosen the correct what? Philosophy. The correct views, the correct ideas, the correct thinking, the correct perceptions. This is the major piece of any personal power. Any accomplishments in life starts at our philosophy. Now, how do we judge philosophies? Results. What do I mean by that? What do I mean by judging philosophy by our results?
If somebody got a lot of stuff, then you would judge that they got it.
In any area. If you got a lot of happiness, right? You walk up to them and say, what's your philosophy of what? Happiness. Can you adopt somebody's philosophy of happiness? Absolutely. If you're not getting good results in the happiness aspect, change your philosophy in that area. Because your philosophy will affect your activity, what you do, which will then affect your results. Most of us go to work on our results without changing our philosophy. There's a story, it says, you can be climbing a ladder and get to the top of the building that the ladder is attached to, and it'll be the what? The wrong building. Meaning, right, you had activity, right? Right? But when you got to the top, you realized you were getting the wrong results. For too long in my life, I was working hard, right? But my results weren't there. And I didn't know. I said, why aren't my results here? Simply because I didn't have the right philosophy. Now, choosing the right philosophy is simple, but it's not easy. What do I mean by that? What do I mean by something simple, but it's not easy? It's easy, right? I mean, it's simple to say, hey, this is the wrong philosophy because my results aren't there, right? But it's hard to do it every single day, to adopt the correct philosophy every day. So I want you guys to write this question down. Are my current results, what are my current results saying about my philosophy? What are the current results that I'm getting? And what is that saying about my philosophy in that area? There's no use in fudging the numbers, right? There's no use in adding zeros, right? You say, these are my results in money, right? You say, these are my results in relationships, right? You say, these are my results in education, right? There's no use in playing around with the numbers. These are my results. And if they're not good, then that must tell me I picked the wrong views. Now, what am I about to write out here? What's easy to do is what? Absolutely. What's easy to do is easy not to do. Now, if we make a commitment to change our views in health, right? We make a commitment to change our ideas about health, right? What is a philosophy of getting healthy? Health. Let's write health here. That's a good result, right? Healthiness, right? Being healthy. What is the equation for high health? Anybody know? As far as diet and activity.
Work out and eat properly.
Work out and eat clean, right? That's called a philosophy of healthy eating, right? Now, let's say we chose these results, right? We want healthiness, but we don't do this. We work out, but we don't eat clean. Are my results going to be there? They're not. 10 years in the gym, right? You picked the wrong philosophy. The activity's there, right? But you've never allowed your results, right? You never looked at your results and saying, are there errors in my current philosophy of activity? And most of us don't do this. Most of us go through life, right, without asking ourselves, are there errors in my current judgments, right? Right? Guy says there's an apple a day, right? We say there's a Hershey bar a day. What results is that going to give us? Not these results that we're looking for. So success is what? Choosing the right what? The right philosophy. I believe that once you begin to take that voyage to changing your views of relationship, what a relationship is, right? Right? Changing your views of what money is, right? Changing your views of what high health is, right? Education is. You change your views in that, in those aspects, and then you you invest that into activity. You take your philosophy, you take your ideas, you take your information, and you invest that into activity, and then you get results. Because if you continue to work on your current plan, you won't ever get here. If you say, I want to double my income in 2 years, right? You go to the library, guy says, save 30% of your income. Live off 70, right? That's a philosophy of what? There you go. So you say, well, I want a lot of money. I want good money. You didn't pick up this philosophy, right? You are saving 0% and you're spending 110%. Are you going to ever get to those results? No. So what is the major piece of the life puzzle? The major piece of success is first correcting my philosophy. And if the results aren't there, we use that, right, to say, these are my results. Is my philosophy correct? It's that simple. Now, life is long, right? Long life, hopefully, right? So hopefully we have time to work on all of our results. But this life is not promised. So we need to get to it, right? We need to take all the areas of our life, from health to wealth, right, to relationships, to spirituality, to all this stuff, right, and say, what are the results that I want in those areas? You say, what are the results that I want in those areas? And once I've identified the results that I'm willing to die for, then I must now go about the important process of selecting the correct what? Philosophy. Because if you work on something and you don't have the correct philosophy, you won't get your results. I told this story before. Results are the name of the game. There was a servant. There was a master, and he had 3 servants, right? And he gathered the 3 servants together, and he said, I'm going on a long voyage. And he said, I want to give you some talents and some values. And I want to see what you do with these values when I'm gone. Values can be anything. It could be ideas. It could be talents, anything. It could be money. And he went along on this long voyage, and he came back, and he gathered the 3 servants together. And he said the all-important question, what did you do with the talents that I left you when I was gone? The first servant said, you gave me 4. I put them to work. I did my thing with them. Now I have 8. The master said, well done, good job. The second servant said, I took this 2, I put them to work, and I got 4. Again, the master replied, well done, good job. Books will show, right? Won't books show that's a good job? He turned 4 into 8, he turned 2 into 4, right? The last servant, he said, what did you do with that 1 talent I gave you? ... The servant said, well, I know you're a stern master, and I didn't want to lose this talent that you gave me, so I dug a hole and I buried it. I dug a hole and I buried it, and I only have this 1 talent. It said the master did what? He lost it. Why? Because the results weren't there. So my question to everybody in here is what are the results that we want in our lives? And are we getting them? Let's not fool ourselves with the results that we're getting, right? Let's not cover them up, right? But let's go into the true problem and say, what are my philosophies? I asked myself today, am I reading enough books to get me to where I want or not? Over the last 90 days, how many books did I read? There's no use in fooling with the numbers. How many books? Right, Hudayfa? I said 1. 1 book over the last month. Is that enough? I came up with the answer. No, that's not enough. I need at least 3 books a month. No, there's no use in faking these numbers out because you're faking your returns, right? And if life is all about returns, then let's get the right philosophies going. And then let's put those philosophies into activity. And that's simply what living at the summit is. Living at the summit is awakening, right? Those changes in ideas, those changes in philosophies, right? So we can invest that into correct activity, and then we can get our correct results. If a daughter comes to a man at 50 years old in this country, the richest country on the planet, right? And he's broke at 50 years old. And his daughter says, why are you broke in America? Right? The financial capital of the world for the last 3,000 years. Why are you broke? What is the answer? It's not in activity. It's in what? It's in philosophy. And he has to tell her that I took the wrong philosophies. And now at the end of my life, I got what? Pennies. Pennies. I worked hard. Most people work hard. Most people get up, right, 8 a.m. and work to 5 p.m., right? But most people don't think hard. And thinking hard is saying, what are my results? And if the results aren't there, shouldn't that change my philosophy? Shouldn't that change what I work on? If I've been in the gym, right, for the last 5 years, right, and I've been eating what I wanted, right, but I've been working out hard, but the results aren't there, shouldn't something change? Absolutely. And as the story says, the key to life is results. It says, there's one story about Jesus. It said Jesus walked past the fig tree. And he asked his comrades, his disciples, does that fig tree have any figs? That's the all-important question for a fig tree, right? Does it have any figs? And if the fig tree doesn't have any figs, is it a fig tree? No, it's not. If you have so many talents given to you, right? Whatever talents you have, because everybody in here has some talents. And at the end of this thing here we call life, the results aren't there, the word's not right, the word is wrong. Something's wrong. And there's nothing wrong with the environment. There's nothing wrong with the country you live in. There's nothing wrong with your skin color. There's nothing wrong with the schools and the books and the churches and all that stuff. All that stuff that we blame. I'm waiting for a new president, right? I'm waiting for a new preacher, right? All that stuff. There's nothing wrong with that stuff. The problem is holes and problems in your philosophy. And to kid yourself over the next 20 years, right? To play games, right? To say, hey, I need the weather to change, right? For me to have a better day. I need my boss to change. All that stuff is faking yourself out, and you'll never get the results. And that's called trauma. So for the next, I tell everybody in here, write your goal list every day. Why do I tell you that? Because presently, on the plan that we've all been living on has been somebody else's plan. Somebody else's plan. If you haven't gotten the results you wanted, whose plan are you on? If you've been getting pennies, right, and you want more than pennies, what plan have you adopted? Right? So what I tell you guys is to do what? Write the list that'll just do it for me. I said write that list. I don't know how many people done it already, but I said write that list that'll just give me the most amazing life. Here's what that does. It paints your results for you. You're not going to your mom and saying, Mom, what do you see from me? Because your mom might say, hey, I got this broom and dustpan for you. You know what I'm saying? No, no, no. But when you paint your results, how do they look? Absolutely incredible, right? Absolutely unbelievable. So you pick your own results, and you bring that to today, and you say, this is my current philosophy. These are my current views of myself. And now we can go into activity. Now we can go get a mentor. Now we can go and put the stuff to work. I want you guys to write this down. If you were to give me your personal philosophy right now, your personal view, right? Your personal philosophy in any area, could I take it around the world with me and teach it? In health, wealth, right? Relationships. Could I, if me and you were in a personal conversation, I said, sit me down and show me your personal plan in your relationship. Could I take that plan and teach it around the country? And if not, why not? Why haven't each one of us adopted a personal, powerful plan that'll get us to where we want to go? How hard is it to do that? How hard is it for us to adopt a powerful personal philosophy in relationships, in wealth? Adopt it. Because it's the plan that counts right now. You adopt that plan. That's why I said write your goals, what? Every single day. How long do I have left? You write that goal list every single day, because what you're doing is you're doing the most powerful thing. You're bringing the future to you, right? And you're allowing that to guide you every single day. So if I were to sit down with you and say, what's your personal philosophy on health? And you said, man, I'm eating chips, right? Right? I ain't working out, right? And I'm doing this and doing that. Would I want to teach that around the world? Absolutely not. And my question then would be, why haven't you adopted a better plan? Simple as that. So make this commitment right now. I want you guys to write this down. I will adopt a powerful philosophy that will get me to the results that I want. I won't let another day go past without adopting a powerful personal philosophy that if somebody saw it, they'd want to teach it around the country. I'll share with you guys mine with money. Right now, what I'm doing right now, I'm doing what's called the 70-30 rule. Can I get it? So, this is a philosophy of money. Money. It says 70-30. Never spend more than 70% of your money. Because if your outgo exceeds your income, you broke, right? So this is my personal plan right now. You could teach that around the country. And I'll take 30% of this, guess what I do? Charity. A portion of this is charity. A portion of this, investment. And a portion of it is savings. Couldn't you teach that around the world? Right? Do I need $1 million to adopt that plan? You can adopt that, make it $10 a day. Right? Now, maybe you may not be able to start off at 70-30, but you can at least do 99 and 1. Right? Because it's the plan that counts. It's not the money. Most people say when I make $1 million, I'll give 10% away. If you never gave away $10 when you made $20,000, you think you're going to give away $100,000 when you make $1 million? Absolutely not. So what I'm asking you guys is that with living this at the summit is to adopt a powerful plan. Adopt a powerful plan in health. Adopt a powerful plan in wealth. Adopt a powerful plan in education. Adopt a powerful plan so you're not just waiting for the winds to blow. I'm telling you, when I graduated and I got my GED at 18 years old, I needed so many things to change for me to do well. You should have heard the stuff that I needed to do well for me to do well. I needed my mom to start treating me a certain way. I needed the economy to pick up, right? I needed them to raise minimum wage. I need all this stuff that I couldn't control. But then I said, hey, that stuff is how it's going to stay. Out there is how it's going to always remain. What I must change is my personal philosophy. And my first personal philosophy was, Hudayfa, you have messed up. You living in the most powerful country in the world, the most economic superpower of the planet. If you still make a minimum wage, it's not minimum wage that's the problem, it's you. So then I went to work on myself. Now, some people out there with pickets, right, with signs, and they're marching, right? They're marching, right? They're going to work on the government, right? They're going to work on their neighbors, right? But they're not going to work on themselves. So guess what? Things don't change. If I'm waiting on you to change, right, for me to get successful, I'm in trouble. Because what if you decide not to change, right? What if my mom has to change for me to get better? And my mom decides not to change? My results going to be screwed up all my life. And write this down, guys. Results is the name of the game. What other game is there? Right? What other game is there other than results? My mentor asked me, he said, how much money have you saved over the last year? The last 3-4 years. I said, what? 0. He said, what? Wrong plan. That's the wrong plan. Pick another plan now. Because when the amounts get big, right? People always talk about these athletes, right? They blow through 20 million, right? A year. But that's because they didn't have the correct plan. The money expanded, right? But their plan never expanded. So there's an idea. It says sometimes life can take a lucky jump. You can make $1 million in 1 year. You can go from 10,000 to $1 million in 1 year. But if you don't grow out to that where the money is, guess what? If you don't, as a person, grow out to where that $1 million is, that $1 million is going to come back to where you were, 10,000. So let's be prepared for the lucky jump of life. Let's be prepared for that amazing guy to walk past us and say, hi, what's your name? Because if you didn't grow, right, and that guy said, hi, what's your name? And you're gonna know a guy that's wonderful for 1 week because he's going to see your bad philosophies and ideas. So life is going to come back to where you were. So don't wish for the world to change. Wish for you to change your philosophy. And then we take that philosophy and we invest that into activity, and then that's the process of personal power. I can't tell you anything better than that. I'm on this journey myself, and this is what we call living at the summit. The summit is the peak, right? Now, it's hard to get all areas of our life together at one time, but we can start. We can take a piece of paper and say, this is what I want in health. This is what I want in wealth. This is what I want in relationships. This is what I want. This is where I want to live. This is what I want to become. And we start the process today. Books are what? Free, right? We can start a book club. We say we're going to read an economic book a month. I bet you 90% of people don't show up. And the books are free. The library is free. So I have a few more phrases I want you guys to write down. How much time do I have, boss?
4 minutes.
Formula for success versus formula for failure. My own errors in judgment has brought me to zero. My own errors in judgment. See, when you guys accept that, when I accept that, that's me. It's my own errors in views. It's my own errors in philosophy. And that has got me broke, right? Then I could change. So the secret to success is a small amount of disciplines practiced every day. Success is a few simple disciplines practiced every day. Disciplines, right, are my philosophies, right? Practice, activity, every single day gets our results. If I saved $1 over the last 10 years a day, how much money would I have? Excuse my language, a lot, right? I would say a shitload, but seriously. So it's not the money, it's the plan. If I indoctrinated myself into that plan, then the results will be there. So the secret to success is a few small, simple disciplines practiced every day. And failure is lack of disciplines or neglecting disciplines every day. If you're supposed to go for that walk every day and you neglect it, in 10 years, what is that going to cost? If you eat a Hershey bar or a Snickers bar for lunch and breakfast every single day and with a Faygo pop, 10 years from now, I'll tell you where you're going to be. Because I can look at your philosophy. All I have to do is look at your philosophy and tell you where you're going to go. See, philosophy is not magic. See, magic's not on here, right? Some people are tricked out by the world. Well, why is the world so hard? No. You don't have the correct views. So if your relationships ain't been working, it's not your partner, it's your views on relationships. If your money hasn't been right, it's your views on money. There's a story about a preacher who he was a preacher, and he was in Texas, and he would set up these tents, and he would invite people in for like a Sunday service. So one Sunday he shows up, and he invites everybody in, but no one shows up. This big tent, right? So he sits there for an hour or two, no one comes in, and hour passes, 2 hour passes, a lonely cowboy comes in, ties his horse up, and he sits down in the tent. So the preacher comes down from the pulpit and say, I'm sorry, dear cowboy. This tent was supposed to be packed. I don't know what's wrong. I'm embarrassed. Cowboy said, well, I'm just a cowboy. I'm not a preacher. But if I went out to graze my cattle and only one showed up, I'd still feed them. So the preacher got back there and he said, yeah, I hear the talk. I hear what the cowboy just said. He got on stage and started rolling. Just to the cowboy. So the cowboy is sitting there for an hour, 2 hours while this preacher kind of goes on and on. Finally, the preacher comes down, winds down, comes down, sits next to the cowboy and said, cowboy, how was it? He said, well, I'm just a preacher. He said, I'm just a cowboy, I'm not a preacher. He said, but if I went out to graze my cattle and only one showed up, I'd feed them, but I wouldn't dump the whole load on them. So I'm sorry if I put too much on you guys, but we're just trying to get things going mentally for you guys. This is something I never received. No one ever told me this. I went to work on my results all my life. So if you just go to work on this, you can do crooked things to get money, right? You can lie to get relationships, right? You could cheat your way through school. You could try to cheat your way through health, which is impossible, right? And then I realized it's not all of this that has to change. It's this. All right, guys. Hope you guys have a nice day. Enjoy your weekend.
Thank you.